Well, what does it take to start a company?
A vision.
Well, yeah, but you can have a vision, but then you gotta. So, at some level, you have to invest. You have to have money, right? Now, you don't have to. You can borrow money. You can use credit cards, but you have to spend money at some point if you're in business. Now, if you're in business, what do you do with the money? You got to do something with it, right? You have capital. What do you do with your capital? Pardon? You invest it. How? What do you create when you invest it? Well, you have to do something with it, right? So you do something. So let's say you create something. So you create widgets. Now widgets would be products. You could also create a consulting service. So what you do with money is you create a product or service. Now, are you in business? You have products, you have services. Why aren't you in business? You don't have a customer, right? So you've got to get a customer. Where's your customer come from? Maybe. Your customer over here, what does the customer do? The customer makes an assessment, has an opinion that their money is worth less than what your service or your product is, right? So they say, I'll give you money. Here, take my money. I want your product or your service. Now, there are successful companies that can do that over and over and over again. There are companies that do that and then they fail. What is the difference? And by the way, there are companies that are 300-400 years old now, European companies that have done this for hundreds of years. What do they do? What's the key? What do they have to provide? Yes, John.
A company that can do it well has to articulate the why they're in the business to the customers and the employees.
But they can have a great why and go over the cliff. Right? I mean, just because somebody really understands the why, there's got to be something else.
You have to be trusted.
Wait. Good quality.
Unique.
Unique. You can be really unique. You can be so unique you become
obsolete.
a dinosaur. You have to have trust, yes, but many trustworthy companies go value. You have to figure out how to add value in the eyes of the client, in the eyes of the customer. Now, when I got married, Sharon gave me a watch, and it was a, and as long as I moved around, it would be fairly accurate. And over a year or so, it would start to lose time. So I'd have to take it down, and I'd pay $35. They'd clean it up and put a new crystal on it. I love that watch. That watch is at home, and it's in my dresser. Right now, I have a Casio watch. This Casio, now, instead of having the 3 functions, the day, the time, actually, it just has 2 functions. It has the day and the time. This watch has many more. This watch has, it has the time, it has a stopwatch, it has a chronographer, whatever that is. It has an alarm. It doesn't. It has a lapper. It doesn't have any pornography, but it has like 8 functions. I know it has 8 functions. Now, this watch also has a battery that lasts for 7 years. And I've had this watch for more than 7 years, and the battery still hasn't gone bad on it. How much do you think I spent for this watch? It's about $17 or something like that. It's a Casio. And you know what? It's a illuminator too. It lights in the dark. Honestly, it does. So this is now, in terms of function, which adds more value? This watch or the watch I love? The watch gave me on our wedding day. Yes. Now, when I was in Poland, I said, which watch would you rather have? And this guy said, I would rather have a Seamaster. And I said, why? And he said, because I'm Polish. And that's, when you get to do these workshops, all the different countries and stuff, you really, really learn. I was just talking about, doing workshops in China. And at the end of the course, the translator, he said, I really enjoyed this course. It was just amazing. I learned a lot. And I said, were you honest in your translation from me? And he said, most of the time. And I said, well, when weren't you? And he said, when you started talking about economics, capitalism, and open markets. And I'm not allowed to talk. So he would say something completely different. And so at times, it's really challenging, but in a good way. Because it leaks through. There's stuff that leaks through that's probably not supposed to. Anyway, so where are we? We have to have money. So obviously this watch has more functions for less money. More for less in the eyes of the user. So there's an agreement market. My wife agreed to pay $500 for that watch, and I treasure it. But it has different meaning than this. So what we say is the way you succeed over time in business is to add value. Now, it's also true that if you're addressing needs of clients and you address the why that they have, this is value to them. Do you understand? Hello? Yes. Okay, good. So, now, take a look at those ballots.